What's going on, everyone? Riku-san, one, the only one here, and I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to talk about Koutetsujou no Kabaneri. And before I get into this actual first episode impression, I want to talk about the actual animation studio that does this, Wit Studio. Wit Studio, since these are the guys that brought us Attack on Titan, and since the success of Attack on Titan, it seems that they're trying to find the next Attack on Titan. And before this series came out, they made a series last year called Orari no Seraph, or Seraph of the End. And that was another series that is similar to Attack on Titan, because that one was about, the world, the world in chaos, and vampires and whatnot. And you could call that an Attack on Titan clone by the vibe you get from it. And the same thing here. This one more than actually Seraph of the End. So it seems that, because we know, the reason we haven't gotten Attack on Titan Season 2 is because there isn't that much content there for the Season 2 yet. But there is now. The point is, it looks like Wit Studio wanted their Attack on Titan, something to take its place, like right now. And they tried it with Seraph of the End. It was an okay series. And then now they're doing it again with this one. And this one was actually, I'm enjoying this one a lot more than actually the first episode of Attack on Titan and Seraph of the End. And this one starts off with it has a really good start off where you see the train, which this train is called the Koutetsujou, and it's being overrun by these creatures called the Kabaneri. And I think the very first scene that starts off this anime, letting you know that this anime means business, is the scene where the girl gets her hair yanked by the Kabaneri, and you see her the roots of her hair just start ripping out and whatnot. That scene definitely lets the viewers know that this show means business. And as the scene is going on, we get a couple of other scenes where guys are trying to push the Kabaneri back, and one gets bitten, and his friends are telling him to use this suicide bag that they have. He has to kill himself for honor and whatnot, because I guess he's gonna turn, because these are like zombies. I guess they're gonna turn. And we also get introduced to our main character, Ikoma, and he's testing out this gun. He's trying to figure it out, but he's failing right now. So we get a lot in the first minute or so of this series. It's pretty it gets pretty hectic at the beginning. It's a really good start. As far as the next scene is where they're at the train station, and that same train we saw that was making his way to the train station, we see it here. And the main character, he works here, and he does stuff in the background, cleaning and whatnot. And the people that were on there, they have to come off and get see if they're bitten and whatnot. And this scene is kind of weird, because you see everyone, they have to strip down and get tested to see if they don't have any bites and whatnot. But it's a little, that scene doesn't make really that much sense to me, as far as how you get bitten and whatnot, because of what happened later on. But basically, there's one guy who, they thought he got bitten, but he didn't. He runs out. Main character tries to stop him, but they don't listen to him, even though the main character says, "Oh, you should guys follow your rules, because one of your rules is that you have to lock him up for what was it, 3 days under surveillance or something." And this is another scene that I'm just I'm not sure how long it takes for you to get bitten, because as you see later in this episode, main character, he gets bitten, and you see how quickly that starts to take him over. I'll get to that in a minute. But basically, another character with this blue uniform comes on. I think his name is Koutetsujou or something. He comes in and he doesn't want to hear anything the main character has to say, and the people that were trying to chase the dude that they thought was bitten start stomping the main character. and the dude that they thought was bitten tries to run away, and they shoot him. Why? Because they're scared. And it was a cool scene where he was like falling, and the blood in the back. That was a good scene. It definitely shows you. It shows you that this anime is like, well, as far as their this unit that they have, it's really unorganized in my opinion. And that train scene was just odd to me because, like I said, the whole fight thing is really inconsistent as far as what they have, the rules to it. It was just I don't understand. I'm gonna get to my episode 2 impressions also, and it didn't explain it that much either in that episode, but hopefully in due time this anime explains, everything as far as how deep you need to be infected and how fast it works. But when they were stomping him, he had some Kabaneri hearts that fall out conveniently because he's trying to get these hearts to test as far as the durability of the Kabaneri. And this is another thing that kind of irks me as far as this series. The durability of the Kabaneri that they're fighting, because as far as the main character is saying that these Kabaneri, the heart is apparently their weak point. Yet, there's another character we get introduced in the train scene also called Mume. She's the one with the kendama, little toy thing. And obviously we see later in the episode where she uses her bladed shoe to decapitate one of the Kabaneri. So she didn't even have to, destroy the heart. So I'm just like, there's a little inconsistencies as far as what you need to do to destroy a Kabaneri. Because it bothers me a little bit. Because I don't know if they're gonna, it shows. If you decapitate them, they're dead. So they're not gonna continue to watch because you didn't destroy the heart. So it's just like kind of inconsistent, if you ask me. But they lock him up because they have suspicion of him. They think he's bitten or something. And there's another train that comes in later, and it gets taken over completely, and it crashes, and that whole fortress area gets overrun by the Kabaneri. But there was one scene when this train crashed, and all of the trains in this series is CG. So I don't know if you don't like CG, you're not really gonna like it. But if you don't, it doesn't bother you, then it didn't bother me that much. But I know a couple of people it actually did bother them. Oh, the CG train, all this stuff. I'm like, didn't bother me. But the one scene where the train actually crashed, and it was in front of the city fortress, and you see the Kabaneri on top of it. It reminded me a lot of that first episode of Attack on Titan, where you see the Colossal Titan look over the gate, and everyone's looking down, and all of the Titans got him. It was reminding me of that scene. Those two were really similar. And the Kabaneri is running rampage on this city, and we see the main character, he's locked up, and he's locked up for quite a while. But as soon as the Kabaneri attack, you see him just pick the lock and get out of there. I'm like, couldn't you pick the lock as soon as you got in? Why did you choose to pick the lock as soon as the Kabaneri attack? There's whatever, plot convenience, I guess. But he's running his way out. He's running his way to his, I guess, his area where he was testing his gun, and he slit his wrist so that he can use the blood to beta Kabaneri to where he was going. And I thought that scene was kind of honestly, I thought it was kind of stupid also, because you could have gotten the same effect of just getting the attention of one and then running in there anyway, because I don't know, I just thought the whole slitting his wrist and making the blood, I thought it was unnecessary in my opinion. But he gets in there, especially how when he got in there, he was waiting for it. It just dropped from the ceiling anyway, and still ambushed him when he was trying to ambush it. So even the whole baiting it over to him, that didn't work anyway. But he gets to test on his gun on the Kabane, and it works. He kills it, but he gets bitten. And this is where I thought the series was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be about him being actually infected and slowly turning, kind of like how if you played spoiler to The Walking Dead, the first episode of the video game, where you see the main character in there. We at the end of it, you find out he's like infected and all that stuff, and that whole tragic end. But I thought it was gonna be like one of those. But we see him latch himself up to this like device to apparently suffocate the virus, because it was slow. It was quickly, not slow. It's quickly taking him over. And this is where I was getting my gripes about the whole infection thing. At the beginning of the episode, when they were testing people at the train station, that's what I was wondering, because if you get bitten instantly, if you get bitten and you start to see effects instantly, you would think that everyone on that train, if they got bitten, they would have turned already. It's not like, oh, I got bitten and it's slowly happening. I was wondering, if you get like a little nibble or a giant chunk, does it depend? I don't know. They haven't explained that. But he uses the device to damn near suffocate himself to stop the virus, because I guess the virus needs, the virus needs blood circulation, to get to his brain, and it couldn't get there, so I guess it just stopped, and then went all the way back into a certain part of his body, I guess. But he stopped it, and that was the scene with him. And then we see another scene with Mume. Like I said, that's the scene where she decapitates the Kabaneri by the head, and in the episode. So, and that's what I was confused about that part too. But even though with all of its little inconsistencies that I had, it was still really enjoyable. Series. So, that's it for this impressions video. It was still a really good, very good anime. I'm gonna continue to watch it. Yeah, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Peace.